Today we are here to talk about the role of mental health. Remember, I talked about industry leadership, and art is an industry, and therefore we need to incorporate art, or we need to come up with ideas on how we can incorporate art in the fight against mental health. So feel most welcome, and I hope this is going to be an interactive session, mostly conversational. I'll give a chance to one person who has an item who wants to atuchangamshie so that we can start.
Why shall you blame this for? God or the Chinese? And why shall you run to? The Italian president is losing speech. This plague is the pain you're crying for. No light in the world, we see dim. Dear God, I can't believe if I get out of my room and lose my life. I can't believe if I don't sanitize and lose my life. I can't believe in quarantine, but if I don't, I lose my life. I can't be close to my brothers with the fear I have may lose my life. I'm young enough to survive the crime, but you don't care, just hunt my life. I see millions of people in the coffin. No one can stand by me when I'm coughing. You can't catch what I touch, you're rebelling. Most have been isolated, no care them, we don't care the deal. I can't stand by this. Where's my alcohol in the fridge? Oh, sanitizing? If this is a punishment, you should tell us we know. The world in the danger of COVID, no growth. My face with the mask like a ghost in the throne. Or it's just a work you're favoring the doctors in the hospital. I can't understand the fatal and danger the world is enduring. Tell us if it's a punishment. We're ready for the battle. Sorry for the Italians. Sorry for the Americans. We're sorry for the Africans. A prayer to the world. Please God, stand by the world. For your people are in danger. Stay at home. Save lives.
Now, we are trying to look at the role of art. And you know, art is big. Everyone does art. Anyone who has ever felt the impact of art while dealing with a mental problem?
I'm Lucy Karaoke. I'm a teacher by profession. I first tested positive in September because I had interacted with someone who tested positive. We actually tested 5 of us and 4 of us turned positive. So after the 15 days, they all tested negative while I tested positive again. That was very drama enough. Now drama came when 15 days after testing the second time, I still tested positive.
For the third time?
The third time. And now I was so sick that I was even on oxygen. So it is like nimetoka kuwa better, I'm deteriorating. And you know what you see at that point then? But the most positive out of it is that I got to mentor and motivate so many people who are going through that issue. So I've been writing about COVID. For those who follow me on Facebook, I've been writing about it. Some of the things that people don't want to talk about.
Who is supposed to act? It's the government, it's the lobby bodies, it's the individuals who are advocating for mental health, right? Now, on their part, what do you think they should do? How are they supposed to incorporate the artists?
As Ranks was trying to put out, is people want to sell, people want to make money. So if, as an artist, I sit in my one-bedroom bed sitter, sina rent. But when these lobby bodies come and tell us that, you know what, I'll give you this space, or I'll give you some Safaricom MGC for free, you do this event, inapunguza the costs of, putting up such things. So if they come with the resources, or if they come with more spaces that people can come in and get comfortable to talk about these issues in a creative manner, then I think we'll be heading somewhere. Rather than kutuachia tu si tukiapekea tu tukianganaba chini, haitakuwa na effect.
Great. I love a point that you've just given out, the resources. Now, talking about resources, as an artist, you need to earn a living through that art that you're making, right? Now, your product is the content. do they really appreciate the financial appreciation, the value of your content that you've given out?
It's not about getting paid,
Yes.
because most people don't want to listen to mental health content actually.
Yes.
Not everyone wants to accept they're stressed and depressed. Not everyone knows if they're depressed or not. And we have different forms of stress. Maybe he has school fees issues, maybe mama issues, girlfriend issues. So unless you're talking about his problems, actually, like we were saying that some people are sellouts. I want to say that you can't only talk about what you're going through. As an artist, you have to talk about what others are going through too. So if you want to make money, you either talk about what this person who can buy your content is going through. So you have to choose either between becoming a sellout or staying to yourself, which in either way, most probably 80%.
Maybe Calvin, maybe I can bring in the professional aspect.
Okay.
When we talk about mental health, what are we talking about? Because if artists or creatives are to come in, then they need to understand what is it that they are addressing. And there is a very big difference between stress and mental instability. Very different. There is a stress, like what he mentioned. I mean, stress they are the things that keep us going every day. But now when we talk about depression, depression is actually a medical condition. It's a medical condition because it's not anger. Stress, anger, all those are stages that one goes through before they get to depression. So by the time we are saying that someone is depressed, we are talking about a medical condition. So in the professional perspective, or maybe where the creatives need to come in, is do they understand mental health? Because now that is the point, you know what you're dealing.
Okay. When you talk about artists understanding, how do you think the artist can be made to do that content that specifically address the stress or the depression?
For musicians, it's easy because I love music. For example, I'll get home with all my stresses, I'll put on some music. At the beginning, I'm just playing music as therapy. But as it continues playing, you find yourself singing along. So that one kind of eases off the stress. So the musician who created that music might not even know what the music is doing to me. But it is helping me ease my daily stressors.
There was a conversation of when we talk about kids exchanging marks. Whose fault is this? You know, as teachers, you cannot be teaching and as well as taking care of the kids during break hours, lunch hours, you know. Don't you think the government failed when it comes to preparing for the reopening of schools?
Talking about the teachers, the parents, the students, none of them were really prepared for what is awaiting them. First of all, the schools were open like pub, so all the students meet in school, and they're supposed to go back to that class and social distance. The public schools that we have currently, they're quite packed. And then what happened? We had so many private schools closing down because of the pandemic. Teachers were not paid, so they moved and it was just chaotic. So where will these kids go? To the public schools. So we were already overwhelmed. Now we are taking in more kids and we're supposed to social distance. We do not have an addition of teachers. Even the regular teachers now leave alone the interns. Then we're supposed to split these classes for the ones that have room. For the ones who don't have room, we have built so many classes under the trees. So you're supposed to split these classes and have, how does that happen?
I understand that.
And then now here is a parent, apart from taking your kids back to school and worrying dead about them, you have also been given a budget of providing masks for them, sanitizers,
School fees.
and
Let's stop at sanitizers. I read a post today. I don't know. I didn't verify it or justify the source, but I read somewhere that the CS for Education has banned sanitizers in school.
I haven't read that, but for now schools are managing this thing differently. In our school, we banned that when we opened, but the reason why we did that is to equalize. So because there are kids who can afford the sanitizers, there are those who cannot. So what do? We provide soap and water everywhere. The washing points are so many. Then we say no sanitizers in school. So if you need your hands clean, get out, wash them with soap and water, and that becomes easy.
Now I think I need to involve everyone. Now I have another point of concern when it comes to raising issues. Let's talk about issues of mental health. As artists, I am a writer and I know everyone here is an artist in any other way. Now, for me to sit down and start writing about a story or start composing a story about an event that took place, I need to do a research, right?
I think artists, let's say in Kenya, most of the artists, I think, write or create content to entertain more than to inform.
Good.
Yeah. So I think as artists, we are supposed to even look at the informing part, just like we are looking at the entertaining part.
As a musician, if you're a real music lover, if you like songs, you'll notice that most songs which are played are never informational in any country. In Rwanda, actually they killed an artist like 1 year ago. Tanzania, last year, there's an artist who was kidnapped. The moment, not only Kenya actually, all over the world, no one wants to be informed. Actually, no one wants to be informed on
who killed these artists.
You can't say who someone. I don't know.
As in, were they killed literally or?
Yes, they died. Actually, they have been demonstrating for a while.
In Tanzania, that.
No, Rwanda.
In Rwanda.
There's an artist who was killed. Yeah.
So why killed? Because of the information?
Man, I can't say that.
Because of the content.
You'll be tying me down.
No.
What I'm saying is, most people talk about these things, but they won't get the airplay they want because the people who do these things actually own all these stations that you want to play, so you get. Sasa huwezi chezwa. Hata ukiwa umeandika ngoma kuhusu corruption, hata ukiwa na evidence, you get. Ni ngumu. Si actually wasanii artists wanafanyanga vitu, wanaandika ngoma, mapoets wanaandika vitu. Lakini in the end, job ya msanii na poet ni kuonyeshana tu. Because hata kwa hapo kesho, lakini utasema Tupac was talking about police brutality, our men being raped, all these things, you see. He was informing us. But even though he was informing us, he went.
I think it's a matter of choice. Yeah, it's a matter of choice. I have friends who are filmmakers, and every time they want to do something or they want to release a script, lazima tutoe mkutano, tukae, to digest. So if we take the initiative sisi wenyewe kwanza, to learn that actually, kumbe, this is how it goes, yeah, instead of just talking about it because it's a trend. Like right now, sorry to say this, there's a lot of content online about raping, and sometimes it's not really the case for ground, but people realized now that we have NGOs and organizations pushing for those kinds
to
of
fund.
materials.
Who wants to fund?
Good. So if I do a piece about rape, and hit, yeah.
And
So
hit.
people end up writing stories that are not logical. If you want to be that artist who stays true to himself and does what you're called to do, then tasimama na hiyo njia.
Actually, if I have something bad on you and I have something good on him, he definitely play the something bad on me.
But now let's leave alone the political, the corruption side of it. Now let's talk about mental health. And you mentioned something. that I don't know who talked about it, that if you want to do a story about me, do we as artists take the initiative of going to carving? I mean, that process of making art professional.
One of the things that I've had in the workshop that I've attended is that if it doesn't make you uncomfortable, then you're not thinking deep enough, and it challenges you like, researching, going to the libraries, all that, so that whatever I put out is actually palatable.
What do these workshops look like?
It's just a normal setup like this one.
Yes.
You know, it's just an interactive session.
Mhm.
But now, you know, there are several things that you guys will talk about. Just like you are addressing things.
Yeah.
You know, everyone will give out their items, be it a piece, be it rap, be it a song, and then amongst ourselves, we will get to critique that particular form of art. You know,
Within the workshop.
yes.
Okay.
And then the facilitator will now give a professional opinion, because the facilitator is maybe a veteran poet or a well-known musician or so on or so forth. Get. So he or she will actually tell you that, you know what, if you had twisted your content to say this, if you use this line, it would actually relate to someone in Kenya. If you say this line in an environment where there are, you know, where there are transgenders or gays or whatnot, it will not really, you know, have an impact on them. You get? So when we want such kind of workshops or such kind of forums, we will be in a position, even as creatives, to, you know, help each other out in writing whatever the audience needs to tackle or address such kind of issues.
I'm an actor, and all these years I've been acting the Gospel of St. Luke's. The very first ministry that Jesus did, the very first preaching or teaching he did at Nazareth, at his hometown. And before he started the ministry, he knew well that the people in his hometown will reject him. But now he did not stop. Why? Because he had a message he had a message to pass. So when he's starting, he's saying that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, and he continues saying that surely you shall bear me this proverb: a prophet isn't supposed to be welcome in his hometown. He knew well that these people are going to reject me, but I won't stop preaching to them. He had power to calm the storm. Unadhani angekuwa na power ya kusimamisha wale masoja before mcrucified day afanye wote wakiwa wagonjwa, sasa ataendelea na uhai. Sasa alikuwa nayo power. But now alikuwa anataka kupass message kwa mtu mwingine. The third party that want to see this message. Alikuwa anataka kuonyesha if you decide to do something, do it. It doesn't matter. Trust me, if Jesus angekuwa ile afya sahi na hii mambo ya internet na mambo ya kutafuta celebrity, hata kama alikufa kitambo sahi na kila mtu anamjua, angekuwa sahi, angekuwa celeb na angekuwa na do design yake. Kuna rapper most I like anaitwa Tom McDonald ni US. Angalia songs za jamaa, unasema for example in US kutoa ngoma ukijaribu this mtu ama kuongea bad about something, hautasikizwa, sijui utafanywa nini. Angalia Tom McDonald, ngoma zake zote, au sema the most hated rapper in US, but I don't care. Mimi ndio endelea kuambia ukweli. Why? Because you're doing wrong. He's one guy who speaks the truth. Na musemanga anytime if you have a piece that speaks about mimi huwa na wanyanyasa, do it. Life ya mtu doesn't depend on fate ya mtu. So if I have a piece of you doing something wrong, sitaogopa juu simply because the money wise. So Bill Gates is not rich, and it's not rich because of you. So I can get money elsewhere.
He said some of the medium of passage of this content are being blocked,
Yeah.
because of the kind of content that you're trying to relay, right?
Yeah.
Now, are you trying to suggest that if they block you on YouTube, you take a microphone and do it in the streets? Yes.
Kama wewe ni msanii, like for example mimi ni actor, najulikana kwengi, but sijiko kwa TV. But I'm known. Why am I known? Do me have acted kwa stage to just live performance. That's why I'm known. If unaogopa tu hiyo channel yako kufungwa, tujaribu kujipush. Naona hiyo hapo ndo huwa tunakosea sana kama content creators.
No, the verification should be key.
But where do we find the truth?
What do you find?
This truth that you want to verify. This truth that you want to talk about.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Like for example, let's just take our president. Our president. Unajua nini mzuri kumhusu? Vitu mingi. Mwalimu tu zile vitu mingi mzuri kumhusu. That's the same place you can get the other things about him.
By the way, acha ni differ. Unaona, as much as we have the right to talk about things, you can't just talk about anything.
You can't talk about
anything.
No, let me tell you one thing. We are dying because of that.
Yes, but my friend, you don't just talk.
What do you mean by let's see? What do you mean by you don't just talk anything?
You don't just talk something because you had something. You have to verify something, like you just said, right? And I've asked you, where do you find this truth?
The truth.
The information we get, almost all of us, is from the news.
Yeah.
Who owns these news houses? These people who are doing these bad things to us.
Who gets information? Kwanza huyo journalist wa kwanza mwenye alipata information alipata aje? Alipiga round, si ndio? No, kuna kitu tunatuua sana. Assumption. Sisi tunakaa home, alafu tutulie tungoje kuona kwa news, then we carry that information.
How should the people fighting mental health incorporate art, like music, like poems, like memes, like and all this stuff, or to cushion people from getting into depression?
How do we incorporate art? It is in the process of doing it. If I'm having a youth mentorship session, there is no way I can have a session without incorporation of art. You talk to someone and tell them, what do you do in your free time? In most cases, it is something artistic. Either they draw, either they dance, they listen to music, they cook, it is something creative. People who have been abused, for example, especially kids, you tell a kid to draw for me your family. And because this child has been abused or has gone through something, unaona achora the mother and color with very beautiful colors. But if this child has been abused by a male person, unapata the colors, and you know this is quite unconscious, the colors that this child uses on the male family members are either very dull, very ugly, I want to correct something that you said about verification. If an artist is to create content on mental health, verification, okay, one, you cannot create content on Lucy and you're dealing with mental health. Because if you create content on me or about me and about the issues I'm going through, you are not helping me, you are actually killing me. You can only create content about me once I'm out of the mental problem that I had. That way I can give you a go ahead and tell you, Calvin, you can create a poem about these are the issues that I was going through, and now I have given you permission to create content about that. But if you want to create content about something that I'm going through, it might not really work. Mental health is slightly different from the other issues that are happening. Okay. So I think my challenge would be, if we are creating something about or something to deal with mental health, let it be positive, one first of all. The government is not doing much, not with the counselors and not with the incorporation of art when it comes to counseling. if you realize that most of the counselors, even who have been working during this pandemic, most of them are volunteers. It is because you feel you have this calling and now I need to volunteer to do this. So if the government is not incorporating the counselors, then how will it incorporate the artists? I like what he talked about, having forums and all that. I have also grown a lot from having forums. When you interact, you get to even know exactly what is happening, even in the art world. Plus, we also need to be of right mental positions if we are going to help others. So it is a good place to steam out.
Okay. Thank you for that. I think we are running out of time, so I'm just going to take at most a minute.
Mostly you become what you see, I think. It's like that. But sisi tunaonyeshanga tu, unaona TV by the way tunaona na Lucy. TV kinakuonyesha inafaa we should come up with ways, positive funny ways actually. Ni kama kuna ma animations fulani zinaongelea kuhusu these bad governments. Zinakuwa funny lakini zinakuwa very very informative. Sasa for example kwenye msana Kenya movies zetu by then is serious. Hakuna nataka kitu serious kwa TV saa mbili. Kama unataka kuwa serious pengine saa 4. Sasa nadhani tu inafaa kama kuna ways. Unakumbuka how we can inform the youths na watoto. Kama kuna programs kama artists. You write a script about corruption, lakini you show pengine the effects of it, not we know how it is done actually. You show us how we can escape from corruption. This is like not to enlighten. Prefer to enlighten about how we come out of these problems. So as creatives we should have positive thoughts. Let's do away with all this bad energy.
As artists, we are losing our originality, and the reason to not lose originality because I have a content, but nangoja approval yake ndio at least hiyo content yangu nitoe nje. So everyone is creating in his own way. If you have a content, the way it is, that's how it should be.
We should envision to use our art and our creativity to uplift others and encourage others in this journey called life.
Can I actually trust him with whatever I'm going through? Can I actually trust him with whatever I am going through? If I can't, then I can't deal with my own stuff. I can't deal with my own drama. I can't actually inform or impact someone's life. So I think we should actually create, safe spaces whereby whatever you're going through, it's not that I'll be like, hey man, you're basically going and you're not really helping that person, like the way you said, you're not really reaching out. So I'm like, hey, maybe tu ilikuwa tu dope, acha ilikuwa tu dope. But nikirudi home, I'm laying on my pillow, I am crying, I'm feeling all these things. I've not really addressed the issue. I just made them feel great. I just made them see my situation. You get? Yeah, so let's just create a safe space where someone can actually talk it out.
When it comes to art, I never blame maybe say the singers, the rappers, people sing now. What I think we should be doing, I think the government should be coming through and they should be supporting us as artists so that at least we can at least do something more.
If my music or my poetry makes you feel good, but in the home, I've not really helped you. So let us work towards how we can infuse personal solutions to personal issues. Like he said that what I go through is not good, he will heal me. So if we have an approach whereby a song speaks to me or a piece speaks to me, I feel good, not just now, but it keeps making better and better and better. Then I think we'll be working towards the right one.
A creative is an introverted extrovert. Introverted extrovert because when I'm in my space, in my world, that is where I create. The moment I put my pen to paper, then I become an extrovert because I'm boldly sharing exactly what I have in my thoughts. In most cases, and these I've noticed with most artists, they are introverts per se. Wanapendanga hapo ka space, and that is one almost direct ticket to depression. Because most of the time you want to be alone, maybe with your cup of coffee and your laptop, doing your thing. But we can do what we do if we remain original, true to ourselves, and as he says, addressing issues that are happening positively. Let us look at them positively, and let us be out to offer solutions.
I think we are out of time, and I would just like to say thank you for making time to come. Let us keep interacting and see you next time.